What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-7 MMA show. My name, Justin. What's up? Boom. Yo, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Now, pretty good. Sorry, we're already live. I just clicked live. I wasn't sure
Okay.
with your schedule if you were able to make it. So, hey, welcome to the show. Guys, we are back with our Friday show. Okay, a couple of updates before we start here. Just wanted to talk about some of the numbers. We're very excited, and we wanted to share in the excitement with all you guys. So one of our goals this year for the growth of the channel. By the way, we just gained another subscriber while I was getting my haircut, it looks like. So we are now at 490 subscribers. And that doesn't seem like a lot. It's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. But for us, it's a lot. We've been at it for over a year now, working on this channel, just over a year. And one of the things we want to do was to reach 500 subs this week. Now, one of the things that I think we're most excited about is beyond just the actual numbers themselves, is that we're starting to build a community of people that are showing up regularly. Tehran, Western Mass Climber, Celine, just to name a few. And that's where I see John Morgan in the background. Yo, tell John Morgan I said, what's up? What a G. He's a legend. But anyways, Justin can tell you guys what he's doing right now as well in a second. But we've been having a really fun time building this community and just having people gather around us, even if it's a small number, but it's a number of people that I feel like are showing up consistently to hear our thoughts on what we have to say about the sport. And especially, I want to say a special thank you because it makes sense you guys want to hear Justin. Justin's a professional commentator. He's a professional fighter. He's been in this game for forever. But even some of the videos that I've been making on my own, people have been watching. And that is really fun to me because, again, I'm a fan and I have my perspectives and opinions, and I never knew if people would gravitate towards them or vibe with them. And it seems like some people are. So thank you guys for that. And I really appreciate it. And that just makes me feel really validated. And that's been a ton of fun. But anyways, we're excited. We're going to talk about UFC 310. Before we do that, Justin, tell us where you're at, because this is very interesting what you're doing this weekend and what that's going to mean for your future career in commentating and being a sports journalist, I guess we could say. So yeah, what are you up to?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri right now for an incredible opportunity I received through a friend, John Morgan. Just an incredible announcer, commentator. Worked for MMA Junkie. I think, John, you still work for Junkie?
Not anymore.
Doesn't work for Junkie anymore. Full time chasing the dream right now. One of the best in the business called me up. One of his partners wasn't able to make it this weekend, and I was his eighth choice. So, as Jason said, and he was able to get to me. And so I'm here for the Division I wrestling duel. We have the Iowa Hawkeyes facing the Princeton Tigers, and then facing the Black Knights of Army. 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Man, we got it's a stacked lineup. I mean, Iowa Hawkeyes have a ranked guy in the nation at every single weight class. Where you look at the Princeton Tigers, they're bringing 5 guys that are ranked in the nation. One or two of them being ranked in the top 20. Then you look at Army, they're bringing 4 or 5 guys as well that are ranked in the nation. They're led by their 165-pounder that's ranked 13th in the nation. So we're going to have some incredible matchups. There's 2 or 3 matchups that I'm really looking forward to, especially that Army matchup where you have the 65er who's ranked 13th, and he's going to be going against Iowa Hawkeyes, who I believe is ranked 2nd. So that's one of the key matchups I'm really looking forward to. So, yeah, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Like I said, to get out here and to commentate to one of the best Division I wrestling programs in the world. The Iowa Hawkeyes right now are ranked number 2 in the NCAA. So very grateful for this opportunity. I'm very glad to be here.
I know a bit about Iowa. I don't know if you knew this, but my sister used to be a doctor at the University of Iowa Hospital, and her husband went to University of Iowa. So they're big University of Iowa fans. They used to go to all the football games. And my brother-in-law also is a big into wrestling. He's the one that told me years ago about the Iowa wrestling program and how revered it is. So I know a thing or two about Iowa, and his entire family's still there. So shout out to Iowa. Very cool. Okay.
Yeah, they're just a stacked school, coached by Tom Brands, who's a legendary coach in the sport of the NCAA, man. These guys are ruthless. They're busting their ass. They're bringing over 20 guys on their roster, so they're not even going to hit their starting lineup just to, give some of the B guys or the second string guys a chance to wrestle at this event.
So, all right, very cool, awesome that you're out there doing that. I gotta say, we got a really, really crazy stack card.
I have a hard stop at 4 o'clock too for
no problem. No problem. I think we can get through a lot of these fights by then. So we'll jump in right now. Now, I do want to say, if anybody is watching this for the first time right now and you haven't subscribed, and you like what you see, and you want to be a part of the show, make sure to please click subscribe. We are 10 subscribers away from 500. Once again, that's our goal for the end of the year, and it's early December. We're almost there. It is actually a very big deal for us because it will enable some big features on YouTube and will help us continue to grow. And we are very, very, very serious about this channel. We are going to continue to research and study the sport thoroughly because we love it, and we think we can provide very good content for all you guys who are MMA fans. And I think the combination of Justin's expertise being a professional fighter and my perspective together is going to give you something unique. So we do hope you join along, and we're going to have a lot of fun as we continue to build the channel. So thank you for those subscribers if you do subscribe, and thank you for the likes and the love. All right, let's get into the mix. Here we go. So I want to start off. We're going to kind of start off at the bottom. We're not going to go through every fight on the entire card, but I want to start off on the early prelims, kind of the fights that are exciting to us and the ones that we've talked about to some extent. And we're going to give our final thoughts and maybe some good little predictions here for fun. Now, I will say I'm going to be picking with my heart, probably primarily. I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, am I going to pick intelligently or am I going to pick with my heart? I think I'm going to pick with my heart. But all right, let's first start off with this fight. Two legends, Clay Guida. And I think you had a take on Monday, but let's hear it again. Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. I'm a huge Chase Hooper fan, and one of my favorite things about him is his intelligence and the way he kind of presents himself in interviews, as well as his fighting style, which, as you mentioned, has grown tremendously in the striking department. I got to go Chase Hooper, but I got to tell you, I'm very excited for this early prelim fight, which I'm not always watching the early prelims. Justin, what are your final thoughts?
You know, when I was in the UFC, I wanted to fight Chase Hooper so bad. He was this young, up-and-coming kid who I thought was just that old-school grappler playing off his back. But let me tell you, Chase Hooper is the real deal. He has been improving his striking every time he fights. He looks like a different fighter in there almost every time. Now, when we look at the opposition of Clay Guida, this is a true legend of the sport. This guy was in the sport but when I was in high school. He continued to have success through my college years. I got to the UFC. I tried to fight Clay Guida, couldn't get the matchup in. And after I was cut from the UFC, Clay Guida is still doing his thing. He's still winning fights. I think he's about 75 years old. They're going to have to put him in the geriatric division because this guy will not stop. I cannot go against the Carpenter. I'm taking Clay Guida for the upset against Chase Hooper.
All right, so we got MGAL Productions, welcome, and he says Chase Hooper will kill Clay. I mean, I do think Chase is probably going to win. I hate to say it. Chase is just that good. It's not even necessarily saying anything negative about Clay Guida, but Clay Guida definitely has an old school style, and he's not that old, man. He's younger than me. He's 42. But yeah, and MGAL Productions says Hooper has gotten really good. As Justin was just saying, he has gotten so good. His striking looks amazing, and he's gotten bigger. He's come up a weight class, and he looks jacked, ripped, healthy, and he mentioned that Western Mass Climbers speaking Clay Guida's wild.
Hey, here's the thing. You know, I'm picking with my heart here. Obviously, the odds are in Chase's favor. Obviously, he's up and coming. He's an incredible grappler. He's an incredible striker. And really, his striking has impressed me so much as of late. I mean, obviously, everyone says Chase is going to win. But I'm that old school guy, man. As you notice with my picks throughout the year, I always choose the dog. I always choose that old dog because it just reminds me of myself as, 42 years old. Clay Guida is still in there. He's still doing his thing. And every now and then, Clay still finds ways to win fight at 42 years old. This guy has fought a who's who. He's been in the UFC since probably 2007, maybe even 2006. The guy's fought a who's who. He is the man. This is kind of like a passing of the torch. If Chase Hooper wins this fight, to me, this is a passing of a torch to from Clay Guida.
Yeah, so he started in the UFC in 2006, and he was already had a professional record at that point of 21-6. Holy smokes!
Well, you know what I was doing in 2006? I was chasing girls because I was in freaking high school. I was a junior in high school in 2006 when the Carpenter had that long hair and it'd be in his face. And you talk about the Carpenter versus Diego Sanchez, one of the greatest first rounds of all time. What an incredible fight! But he's just been in so many knockdown, drag him out fights. I can't go against the Carpenter, even though everything says to. I'm in support of Clay Guida, man. We've had our after parties together. He's just an incredible fighter. He's an incredible person, and I'm very glad I've been able to share the same fight card as him.
Last thing I got to say on Clay, he's had 62 professional fights. I was just looking at, MGAL Productions says Clay Guida is the king of Chicago. I was just looking at Anthony Smith's record the other day. He's had so many professional fights, somewhere in the 50. Clay 62. That's insanity. So, all right, I get what you're saying for nostalgia purposes.
How many are in the UFC? Look it up on Tapology. It will tell you out of his 62 professional fights, from his 62 professional fights, how many fights are in the UFC?
Okay, I'm just going to do the math right now myself. Hold on. So we've got here, the first one was in 2006 against Justin James, and that was when his record was 21-6, so that's 27, 62, 35. That's 35 fights in the UFC. That's insane. That's got to be one of the highest. Okay, by the way, we got a lot of comments from Mgal. I got to say one thing. One of you guys, maybe it's Mgal, one of you guys just subscribed live during the show. We're at 491. We got 9 to go. Let's go. Thank you for the new subscription. Okay, by the way, not to pat myself on the back, but Mgal Production, I says, I like your channel 10-7 because, wait for it, my take on Jones. He says, Colby is a duck, not Jones. He liked that video. Let's go. Let's hear it for John Jones.
Speaking of Colby, I'm sitting here with John Morgan, and we were out to dinner last night. And John is willing to come on our show, give us a little stint. And he has a great story about Colby Covington that I'm really excited for the 10-7 to broadcast, as long as it's okay with John to talk about. But yeah, it's a very interesting story, and it really goes to show how much of a piece of shit Colby Covington really is.
Colby's been super rude to John Morgan and the pressers, but I cannot
That's
wait.
exactly what it was. He goes, Colby has been super rude to John Morgan at the pressers. I'm sitting with John right now, and I'm sure he couldn't agree more.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. No, dude, Colby, I think, I don't know. I don't think there's barely any Colby fans out there. And Ian Garry has been ripping him to shreds in the presser. It's amazing. Okay, wait. Teron Brown says, what's up? What's up? And I know MGAL Productions has his take on Anthony Smith. We're going to get to that in a second. Oh, yeah. MGAL Productions is talking about what Colby said. And he says, I'm going to you. Oh, he's going to UFC Tampa. Dude, I want to go to that fight. I would, but we're going to be in Montana next weekend. But that would be so fun to go to that fight, actually. And I think the tickets aren't that bad at all. You could get like very close to front row for about $1,000, which is crazy. But anyways, all right. Let's keep it going. So there we have Chase Hooper versus Clay Guida. Let's keep it moving. Now, this card is so stacked. It's so fun. It's so underrated. We're going to skip Michael Chiesa. I know he's a big name. I know Chris Weidman's the man. But the next fight I want to talk about is your boy Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev. So now we have these. Movsar is undefeated. Very, very confident. Extremely confident. If you listen to him in his interviews, he has a lot of decisions on his record. But he's feeling very confident. Yeah. He's feeling very confident that he's going to beat Aljo. But I think you and I are in agreement. And this is actually not me not picking with my heart. I think Aljo is very underrated. He's overlooked. I think Aljo is going to get it done. But I know you feel the same, but you tell us from a more technical standpoint or whatever your thoughts are. Why do you feel Aljo is going to get the job done?
Yeah, for whatever reason, everyone keeps, just the disrespect with Aljamain Sterling, just unreal. This guy is the real deal. Going down to bantamweight, we know he got knocked out by Sugar Sean, but here's the thing. Aljamain Sterling is a huge man. When we stand next to each other, keep in mind, I competed at lightweight and featherweight. When I stand next to Aljamain, I'm smaller than him. He has broader shoulders. I might have bigger legs, but everything else, like my shoulders, my chest, this is a monster of a man cutting down to bantamweight. Now he's going up to 145, so he's going to be much more hydrated. He's going to be able to retain that muscle that he's losing during his weight cut. And I think he's going to be healthier. I think he's going to be fresher. And, when you come against a guy like Movsar, he's a decision machine. He's boring. I just can't imagine him coming in there and out-wrestling Aljamain. I'm not worried about Aljamain getting knocked out. I'm not worried about Aljamain getting outstruck here. And I'm not really worried about him getting held down either. Aljamain Sterling is one of the best grapplers in the UFC at all weight classes. And I just hate the disrespect he gets from everybody. Being a former champion, being put on the undercard of this event is just mind-blowing to me. And you know what? I see a lot of value in Aljamain Sterling. He is a plus 285 dog. Are you kidding me? I am stacking bread on Aljamain Sterling. This is the upset of the night right here.
I think it's plus 205, by the way. But two quick things. Number one, we just hit 492. Somebody else subscribed. Let's go. We are 8 away from 500. You guys are amazing. Noro Ego just subscribed. Thank you, bro. You are a legend. This is so much fun. Okay, we might hit 500 right now. This is incredible. Okay, and also we got a couple comments. Look, he did have a great fight against Arnold Allen. I will give you that. He did hurt him quite badly. But, dude, I just think, I think what Justin's saying, Aljo's just a different level, man. With everything he's been through, the amount of dominance he's had, I do think he's being overlooked, and I'm feeling Aljo. He does say that he's a big fan of Aljo, but he's still picking Movsar Evloev. I don't know. We're going to see what happens, but I think it could go either way. Two Smelly Fingers is back. What's up? Welcome back. Thank you. And Western Mass Climber is here as well. He says, hey, Teron, I'm driving around picking up dinner. Hope you're well, bro. Okay, legend. Some of our regulars, Western Mass Climber, we were just talking about you earlier. Thank you again for the continued support. We really
I'll tell you what I think is really cool is these guys are consistently watching the show, so consistent that they know that they're developing relationships between each other and they're giving each other what's up. And dude, I love that, man. And that's just going with the evolution of our show. I mean, we're approaching 500 subscribers here. We appreciate the support. I mean, we've been doing this for about a year. We try to give the best content we can. And, you know, every time we get a new subscriber, we're both very grateful for it.
Heck yeah. Okay, let's keep it going. I know Vicente Luque is a legend. I'm going to skip over this fight because we got a lot of stuff to talk about, because I got to talk about Dominick Reyes versus Anthony Smith. I mean, I'll tell you this. Both of the fighters have said in their press, I've watched all the interviews, they're not bummed out that they're on the prelims, excuse me, not early prelims, because I said more people are going to watch the fight. We don't really care. We get paid the same. And I actually kind of get that. And also, they're going to have more exposure because that's not on the, you know what I mean? Like, actually, the way I'm thinking about it now, it's actually a better position. Do you agree with me, or am I crazy? It's kind of a better position to be the feature fight on the prelims in a lot of ways. What do you think?
Well, especially on pay-per-view cards, because not everybody's going to buy the pay-per-view, but everybody will watch the free event. So this is for 310, so it's going to be a paid. I mean, this is an incredible opportunity for both of these guys. I mean, they are the main event of the prelims, essentially. And I feel how they feel as well. Like, they're getting paid the same. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. And both of these guys have already fought main event. Both of them have fought against John Jones, the GOAT of the MMA, the GOAT of the UFC. Both of these guys have already competed against the world. They've been in main event situations. At this point in their career, I don't think they really care.
Now, I got to tell you some interesting stuff, because I've been listening to a lot of the Anthony Smith interviews, and I don't know what to make of it, but that's why I want to ask you. I want to get your thoughts. So I was picking Dominick Reyes regardless, because I do think there's going to be a speed differential and somewhat of a technical differential. I think Dominick Reyes is an awesome fighter. Ranked 12th, I think, is a vastly way too low of a ranking. But again, he's had certain losses, but I think he's a highly, highly skilled fighter, and he's about to show that tomorrow, is what I believe. But then here's the thing. Anthony Smith just lost one of his coaches, who was more than a coach. He said this is almost like a father figure, a mentor, a protector, as he described him. And he said he's been driving to practice every day, crying on his way to practice. And he's been just absolutely devastated, realizing what really matters in life, what doesn't matter. And he says the reason why he wants to fight this fight has nothing to do with winning or losing. He says he does not care if he wins or loses. And he's only felt this way against one other fight when he fought Gustafsson. He says why he's going in there is because he wants to hit somebody. He wants to take out pain and aggression and anger that he's feeling right now. And that's why he's going into the Dominick. That's why he's taking this fight, and that's what he wants to do. He does not care if he wins or loses. And he said he's going through a really traumatic time. Justin, with that, because I don't know, I could see it going either way. But do you feel like that mindset is actually going to benefit him? Is that a huge hindrance, or somewhere in between? What do you think?
Well, when you're in a position where you don't care about winning and you don't care about losing, I mean, that definitely can hinder, especially in this emotional. You know, he's going through emotional tax right now, man. And showing up saying, "Oh, I just want to hurt somebody and I want to take out all my frustration," isn't necessarily a good thing. And when when I try to relate the feelings to myself, when I fought Carl Deaton, man, I wanted to get in there, I wanted to hurt him, and Carl and I barked back and forth online, and he got me to essentially shy away from my game plan of taking him down and dominating on top, because I just wanted to be on my feet and I want to knock him down. With that being said, looking back at the fight, he was a master manipulator of my mind. He got me in this idea that we're going to meet in the middle, we're going to have this great firefight, and whoever's standing is going to be the stronger guy. Well, when we get in these firefight situations, I'd overcommit on my punches. He'd change his level take and shoot me down at the end of the round, and ultimately led to my 3-round decision defeat here. And to Anthony Smith, Dominick Reyes, hears this and understands that, hey, he wants to get in there, he wants to stand in the pocket. This is a perfect opportunity for Dominick Reyes to change his levels, take Anthony down, and grind on him. Because, again, when you have that emotion and now you're on ground, now you're frustrated that you're on ground, you're going to exert a huge amount of energy trying to get up. If you can't find yourself getting up, you're going to start to slow down. Your muscles are going to fill with lactic acid. You're going to gas out, and then you're going to find even more frustration because you wanted to come in this fight, you wanted to hurt somebody, and now you're finding yourself on your back, fighting off your back, and it can just be a catastrophic event.
Now, Anthony Smith, just a couple other facts, right? He's 36, whereas I believe Dominick Reyes is 34, relatively close in age. But Anthony Smith has had a lot of fights, a lot of battles, a lot of wars. He's kind of had
a lot of injuries too.
So, we'll have to see how that all weighs in. He's coming off his last fight was a loss against your buddy Roman Dolidze, who's also trains at Extreme Couture. We'll have to see how this goes down. But yeah, overall, and I think the odds reflect that. I think I'm feeling like Dominick Reyes is going to get the victory. But we all love Anthony Smith, and we all love his analysis. And I think no matter what happens in this fight, he's doing this for his personal mental health and just to get out there and do what he wants, do what he can do to help himself while he's going through an incredibly traumatic time. So, hey, we wish both of these guys luck, but yeah, I guess that would have to be my pick would be Dominick Reyes, and we'll see what happens. Tehran says, yep, Dominick Reyes is going to put on a striking clinic in this fight. That's what I was saying too earlier in this week. I think that's what we're going to see as well, just because of that speed and maybe some skill differential, but we will see. It's going to be a fun fight either way. All right, next we're moving on to the main event. We're moving on to this fight. Now, I got something. I don't know if you saw this. I know Nate the Train's the man, but we're going to skip past that. We're going to go to Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Justin's got 9 minutes before he's got to go. Now, everybody might be saying, this is crazy. Kron Gracie looked horrible in his last fight, hence Bryce Mitchell at -800. But I will tell you this. I listened to a Kron Gracie interview. It doesn't change my mind too much, but it maybe changed it a little. He said the reason why he did what he did last time, because if you guys remember, he fought crazy last time. He was literally like scooting up to the guy, just going straight into guard, not doing literally no striking and no offensive wrestling. It was just pure like go straight into guard and use pure jiu-jitsu. Now, he came out on a recent interview and said the reason why is because his family and a lot of people in the jiu-jitsu community were giving him a tremendous amount of pressure to win his last fight in the UFC with pure jiu-jitsu, to showcase the power of jiu-jitsu. And that's why he fought the way he did. He said he's never caved in or crumbled to pressure, external pressure like that, to change his fighting style like that. He said he's fought many times in Japan and elsewhere using a combination of strikes and grappling. So he says that's why he fought that way, and he's not going to do that this time. Justin, does this perspective change your perspective? Does this interview, change your perspective whatsoever on what to expect? Like, does this make you feel more confident in Kron Gracie, or do you still feel Bryce Mitchell's going to get it done?
Let me tell you this. That is the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my life. Kron Gracie, you're a fucking idiot. Like, let me tell you, oh, well, my family wanted me to butt scoot up to him. The lowest percentage technique in all of martial arts. Like, what are you saying? Like, what? So essentially what you're saying publicly is your family put you in the lowest or the worst position in all of MMA to prove. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Bryce Mitchell by TKO in the second round. Fuck Kron Gracie. I can't believe he said that. He just lost me as a fan. All right, that is seriously that's in the top 3 dumbest shit I've ever heard in MMA. My family pressured me. Hey, listen. Oh, okay then. If that's the case, take your opponent down and sub them from top. Butt scooting in a fight is the dumbest shit ever. And if he says his family pressured him to do that, he is an idiot. He doesn't belong to be in the UFC, let alone on the main card against Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell by TKO within 2 rounds. I'm so annoyed that you just told me that, and I'm gonna make a huge video about it. I'm disgusted with that.
And hold on, I'm trying to remember. Like, I might be mistaking the butt scooting for another fight, but that's my recollection. But I remember he went straight to guard. Like, he immediately was like constantly going into taking the bottom position. Maybe the butt scooting was the exaggeration. I have to rewatch the fight.
Even pulling guard. You're essentially here. Yeah. Let's talk about one of the best grapplers in the history of the world. You may have heard of him. His name's Vinny Magliez. Or here, let's look at. Vinny Magliez is one of the best grapplers in the world. Let's look at Jake Shields as one of the best MMA grapplers in the world. Jake Shields doesn't pull guard. He gets on top, he gets to mount, he looks for side chokes and beats the crap out of you. If you want to demonstrate that grappling is still an effective art in the UFC, like straight grappling, you need to take guys down, get on top of them, beating them up. Pulling guys on top of you at this level, you will never win. Yeah, like Vinny Magliez says it, talking about heel hooks, when guys like pull under and they dive under for heel hooks. He says heel hooks do not work in MMA, and that's essentially what guard players are looking for in MMA are heel hooks. Not always, but a lot of times they are. And just guys, this is mixed martial arts. This isn't a grappling match. This isn't a boxing match. This isn't kickboxing. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to come there and use my grappling and win. That just it's just not a winning equation, and I'm disgusted that he said that.
All right, well, that's a great take, and I'm really glad I asked you that because I was wondering myself. But speaking of heel hooks, we're going to go on to Ciryl Gane versus Alexandre Volkov, because if you remember Ciryl Gane, I know we got to hustle because I really want to get your take on the last two fights.
Yep.
But Ciryl Gane tried to get a heel hook on Francis Ngannou, if you remember that, and that's primarily why he lost that 5th round against Francis Ngannou. But anyways, I think people have totally forgotten about Ciryl Gane. I love Volkov, but dude, Ciryl Gane's like one of my I love him. I love him as a fighter, and I love his personality. I love the way he carries himself. He's just the most chill, fun-loving, happy, easygoing guy. But on top of it, when you watch his pad work, when you watch his striking, dude, I was watching some of his footage from the embedded episodes this week. He's just so good, man. And I feel like because he's had some time away, people have been clowning him for like doing a movie or something and having to turn down a fight. I mean, he made a prior commitment. What are you going to do? Right? Like, I don't know. I didn't think that was that big of a deal. I think people have totally forgotten about how good Ciryl Gane is. I think people are also assuming, oh my God, Tom Aspinall, he would destroy Ciryl Gane. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Dude, Ciryl Gane has done some crazy damage in the heavyweight division. I think Ciryl Gane actually could potentially beat Tom Aspinall. I mean, I don't know how the fight will go, but Ciryl Gane's an incredible fighter. He put up an amazing performance against Francis Ngannou. Not the best performance against John Jones. I know you didn't like that one, but he's coming off a win. I think he's going to put it, and he's already beaten Volkov, by the way, but I think he's going to beat Volkov again, but I think he's going to finish him this time. Justin, what are your thoughts?
Ciryl Gane, I had a lot of respect for him too, and I still do, guys. And I know I do talk a little bit of shit about him just because of his lackluster performance against John Jones. But this guy is a great striker. He's a great heavyweight. He's been focusing on his grappling. He's been focusing on his wrestling. It'd be really cool to see him come out and display that, with how light he is on his feet and how good his striking is. Like I said, I had a lot of praise for him. I was excited about the John Jones match. I got to watch it at your house with all your friends. And after that fight, it was so lackluster that I was just really bummed out. And it kind of turned me off Ciryl Gane for a minute. Now, I look at the other end. I look at Alexandre Volkov. I've shared the same card with him. This guy is just the nicest guy ever. The small interaction I've had with him have just been incredible interactions. I can't go against this guy. They always talk about beating a tough guy twice. If you beat it's hard to beat somebody that's good once, but beating him twice is really tough. And Alexandre Volkov has been on a great tear. He's an incredible striker. I'm taking Alexandre Volkov for the upset here.
All right, we're going different directions. We got to hustle because Justin's got to go in 3 minutes. We have to hear his take on the two main fights, the co-main and the main. Holy smokes, this co-main is lit. I cannot wait, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat, despite the odds, I'm picking a little slightly with my heart, but actually I think it's legit. I'm picking Ian Garry. Justin, give us your take. Shavkat or Ian?
Okay, so right now this was a toss-up fight for me. I was going to put money on Ian Garry just because he was such a big dog. He's almost plus 300, so that means if you bet $100, you're going to win $285 on Ian Garry. Well, I just saw a little interaction between Shavkat and Ian Garry, and it made me very uneasy. And I think I sent it to you via Instagram. But so Shavkat's kind of like sitting in the room. Ian Garry comes in, and he's like, "Oh, bro, like nothing but respect. And he hugs Shavkat. And like, yes, hey man, hey, let's have a good fight tomorrow, and blah blah blah. And Shavkat's kind of acknowledged, and then he like introduces himself to whoever he's with, and then it's like a 5-second interaction. But then as they're about to part ways, Ian Garry runs over to him again and hugs him again, and it's just like, I don't know. It seemed he looked really worried. He looked really concerned. His face looked really sunk in. Ian Garry's nervous. Ian Garry's scared. After seeing that video. I think this is a huge step up in competition. We're talking about Shavkat, 18-0, 18 finishes, undefeated in the UFC, finishing everybody he's fought. All right. After seeing that interaction between Ian Machado and Shavkat, I have big concerns for Ian Garry, and I think Shavkat's going to come in there 19-0, 19 finishes.
Okay, so I'm going the other way, and let me just give you a little context. They've trained together, so they're friends. They're former training partners. They've spent a lot of time sparring. He's got a lot of respect for Shavkat. That could be part of it, but I get your take. Okay, you got to go in 1 minute. Let's hit the main event. I'm going to tell you first, and then Justin, take it away. I'm going Kai Asakura. Let me tell you why. I was concerned about his weight cut, and I am slightly picking with my heart, but I don't care. And he was on weight earlier this week. He even showed him on Embedded having like a big meal. He came in at 124.5. This was his first time making flyweight, and he made it with a half a pound to go. I'm feeling confident about him. He looked amazing at the press conference, ready to go. He's got that aura. Let's go Kai Asakura, and the first ever UFC Japanese champion. What's your take?
Kai Asakura makes weight by a half a pound. First time he's made weight, like you mentioned, in the history of his career. I think that's incredible. But we got the UFC champion, Pantoja, on the other end. Kai, again, an incredible fighter, an incredible striker. But the guys he fought aren't UFC caliber, or I shouldn't say they're not UFC caliber. Let me rephrase that. The guys he fought aren't in the UFC. When you look at Pantoja, I just can't get over, beating the former champ, becoming the champion. The level of competition Pantoja has faced in comparison it's just unmatchable. I have and still your champion, Alexandre Pantoja, at the end of this.
It's a very logical choice. I get it. But, again, it is slightly with my heart. I do think it'd be incredible. And Asakura is one of the most exciting fighters. If you look at his I watched a bunch of his fights last night in Rise, and he is the man. All right, Justin, I know you got to roll, so no worries. Good luck. Western Mass Climber wanted me to link what you're broadcasting on. Is it ESPN or what are you guys on?
UFC Fight Pass.
UFC Fight Pass. So you guys can check out Justin doing his commentating this weekend on UFC Fight Pass. So make sure to check that out. Justin, good luck. And I'll finish off the show and we'll see you guys I'll see you next time. All right.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys. Just to reiterate a point, Iowa Hawkeyes versus Princeton Tigers, 6 p.m. I believe we're in Central Time. And then versus Army at 8 p.m. Me and John Morgan, we're going to run through. John was talking about getting out there and challenging one of these guys after he wins. So guys, tune in for that.
All right, legend.
Yeah,
all right,
we're gonna go to a drink. I'll see you guys later, man. Have fun.
All right, take it easy. All right, guys. Now that is it for the main card. Sorry I had to rush so much. Let me highlight some of these comments. Thank you, Justin. Good luck, bros. Nora, you're a legend. Hey, that's a cool picture of Hamza. That's hilarious in your profile picture. By the way, guys, we are 8 subscribers away from 500, which is a massive milestone, as we mentioned earlier in the show. So if any of you guys are watching and are enjoying the show and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click that subscribe button. That would be huge for us, even 1 or 2 more. So let us know. Let's get, and then does Justin have a YouTube? Oh, that's what you were asking. No, he doesn't have a YouTube channel. This is basically where we talk where we talk mixed martial arts and all that right here. So you're already subscribed. You're good to go. Norwegia says Pantoja is a little Tasmanian devil. I mean, I hate to say it, Justin. I mean, the odds are the way they are because, for a reason. Obviously, Pantoja is favored, and I think Justin outlined why. But I gotta believe. I gotta hope that Asakura can pull this off. I feel like Garry was thinking more about Colby than Shavkat. I mean, yeah, he's definitely talking about him, but dude, Colby has really harassed him and terrorized him and said some horrible things about him and his family. I kind of get it, but it's also like, yeah, he's just showing what's happened. He wanted that fight. He couldn't get it. He's frustrated. He's venting a little bit. No, I think he's focused. I actually liked the trash talk towards Colby. I thought it was fair. Colby said a lot of terrible things, and all he's saying is he's just calling Colby a coward. He's not going to any personal extent attacking his family, so it's still within bounds, and I thought it was fair. Toran says, I don't want either guy to. I don't either. This is what Justin's point was earlier in the week when this fight was announced. He said this was a bad play by the UFC in his opinion because these guys are such huge prospects. It would have been much cooler to have them fight for the belt if Shavkat would have beaten Bilal Muhammad. But I mean, it is what it is, man. All I can say is I'm happy. I can't with this fight, whether it's then or now, is still super exciting to me. And here's the other thing. Even if Garry or Shavkat loses, they're going to come, they're going to come back and still probably get another title shot. They're going to lose. They're so talented. And then the loser's going to go out, fight, and probably get a win, maybe 2 wins, and they're going to be right back into title contention. They'll probably have a rematch. So I think this is, I don't know. All I can say is in the current time, I'm thrilled and I'm excited. Not a winning recipe. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Norwegia. And then here, I couldn't count Gracie out though, but I hope crazy. Yeah, let's go. Bryce Mitchell did an interview the other day too, I'm going to take his advice on this. He's like, stop buying, because I eat honey all the time. He said, stop spending all this money buying honey at a grocery store. Go to a bee farmer and buy like $2,000 or $3,000 worth of it, because honey is gold. It never goes bad. I'm like, that's so smart. So I'm going to start buying honey straight from the source in bulk. Okay, that is it for UFC 310. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I think this card is so lit, so fire, and I cannot wait for tomorrow. So let's go. And I don't think a single person missed weight. I watched the weigh-in summary. I'm pretty sure that's the case, but yeah, I don't think a single person missed weight, so that's pretty cool. All right, last story. I saved it for last as well because I don't really think this is Justin's cup of tea, but if you guys haven't seen the news, Darren Till, somebody that we love so much in mixed martial arts, but just in combat sports in general, it was just announced that his fight against Tommy Fury is off. Now, this is insane. Okay, I'm gonna let Darren Till explain this in his own words, but just as a summary, here's the thing. Darren Till did a great job at the presser, just to give you a summary. And he said, yeah, I'm not afraid of any of you guys. And I loved it because I loved it when boxers will never come into MMA and fight an MMA fighter for a one-off. It's not going to happen. And if they did, well, it'd be amazing. But they always want MMA fighters, our fighters, to go in and fight them in their sport, which obviously the odds are heavily in their favor. So Darren Till went off and he's like, listen, I am not afraid of one person in this room. I could take all of you. There's not one person that intimidates me. You will not intimidate me. If I wanted to, if we get into a real fight, I would smoke every single one of you. 3-on-1, 4-on-1, 5-on-1, whatever he said. And he's like, and if I feel like it in the middle of the fight, I'll throw a head kick and I'll kick you straight in the head. And there's not one thing you can do about it. Which was hilarious. And like the entire family just kind of like, what could they say? And he backed down the Fury family. Now, as he'll explain in this clip, he says the Furies always bully people at pressers, but he bullied them. Now, fast forward to today or yesterday, Tommy Fury has pulled out of this fight, citing safety concerns that Darren Till will not follow the rules and will kick him in the head or something. First of all, this is insane. And Tommy Fury, remember, he pulled out of Jake Paul's fight. And I kind of like Tommy Fury, but this was really upsetting to me just from an empathy standpoint for Darren Till. He had a fight, he had a payday lined up, and this guy's pulling out at the last minute. But the reason why, it's not because of injury. The reason why is he's citing safety concerns that Darren Till might actually do something like that. But the thing is, that's built into the contract. If he did, he'd forfeit his purse over to, I believe it would just go straight to Tommy Fury. So I don't understand him pulling out of the fight, and Darren Till's livid as he should be. So let's hear from Darren Till what's going on. And man, I think we should all be supporting Darren Till. I really hope he gets a replacement fight or they pressure Tommy Fury and force him to actually fight, because this is crazy to me. All right, check this out.
So for years, the Furies, by the way, Tyson, one of the greatest heavyweights of our time, I think he's phenomenal, but for years, the Furies have always intimidated and bullied everyone at press conferences, at fights, at fight week, at weigh-ins, whatever, that's what they've done. That's their thing. It's all mental warfare, innit, Now, John's had a few fights. John's intimidated Jake Paul's father. John buttered someone from from Usyk's team. John punched glass to try and punch KSI when KSI was making weight, whatever. All this, that's what you do. You're building a fight. We all know how this goes, right? It's not fake. It's not like whatever. It's all real. But at the same time, you're building a fight. I come along, I'm not the hardest man out there, Adam. I'm not whatever. But what I am is, and people can say whatever, like, oh, he's lost this, he's lost that. I've only ever lost to high-level competition, I am still one of the best MMA fights out there, because you've got to be the best to get where I got to, So I come along and I say to the Furies at the press conference, well, I'm not threatened by you because I don't even think this is a real fight, which I don't. I'm not disrespecting boxing, because I think boxing is one of the hardest sports in the world. In fact, I think it gives you a more long-term effect than MMA because of the punches you have to take over the amount of rounds, But I've basically said, I will have it with you, and you. I'm not asked, because no one in this room threatens me. And, by the way, Tommy, if I'm losing the fight, I'll just kick you straight in your face. He's then turned around and said, well, then it'll be a proper fight. And I've went, well, then I'll win, because I'm a real fighter. Let's just not get things twisted out here. So all this, what I've said, which, by the way, is all just said as, what? We're building a fight. It's mental warfare, mate. It's out here. It's on. I signed a disclaimer for the Misfits in the contract that if I would kick Tommy, I would forfeit my whole purse, and I'm getting paid handsomely. So what I'm looking at here and what I'm seeing is Tommy's pulled out because of what I've said. It's completely and utterly embarrassing. Like, at least pull out with an injury or say your hand or say, Love Island want you back on for a second season. Do you get what I'm saying? What is up with you? So
all right, so there it is. I mean, and I think you guys would agree, this is completely insane that he would use this as an excuse to pull out. But I think now we can look at his pullout with Jake Paul, this pullout now, and his rationale and reasons. And like, there's something up with Tommy. I don't know. Maybe he gets nervous. Maybe he gets, maybe he's worried about his reputation or his brand, because now he might think he might take a loss. I know his family has been hard on him in the past and said if he would lose to Jake Paul, his dad goes off on him. And Darren Till's not a boxer, so if he lost to Darren Till, perhaps that would be quite embarrassing for the Fury name, and maybe that's why he's pulling out. But to me, from just a general business standpoint, this is so unprofessional. And I do feel for Darren Till. This was going to be a big fight, and he was doing a tremendous job promoting the fight. So I don't understand. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It is quite disappointing. I was kind of looking forward to this. Now, Nora Uga says, watch his interview with MMA Guru. I love MMA Guru. Let's go. Okay, I got to check that out. I haven't seen that yet. Are you talking about an old one or a new one? Because if it's a new one, I haven't seen it. But I saw his last interview with MMA Guru. It was hilarious. Why isn't Till in the UFC? He talked to Dana White and negotiated a release. I think he just needed a break, and maybe he wasn't. I am kind of piecing this together somewhat, but it felt like he wasn't training super hard. He wasn't feeling confident, and maybe he felt like he wanted to do other things for a temporary break. But he still says he wants to come back eventually to the UFC and is still on good terms. MMA Shaolin says, rare W from Till. This is definitely, I think, a W in the sense that he did. I don't know. He scared Tommy away. It's kind of crazy. And Tehran says he was right about Moicano versus Dariush for UFC 311. You know what? I'm actually kind of sad in a way to hear that, because man, UFC 311 is so dope, and it's in LA, and I was so excited about it because I was like, dude, I'm gonna go. And I found out that yesterday, actually, or 2 days ago, that I have to go to Montana that weekend because me and Justin will be commentating for Fusion Fight League in Montana, which is dope, and I love doing it. But it's that same weekend, so I will be able to go. I might even barely be able to watch the fight because it's gonna overlap with the event. So it is what it is. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, guys, that is it for today. Thank you, everybody. Listen, one more time. We are so close to 500 subs. We are 8 subs away. Okay. So if anybody is watching right now and you have not click subscribe, and you want to click subscribe, you want to be a part of the 10-7-MMA family. We do shows every Monday and Friday, plus tons of content. Now I'm doing videos. I'm trying to make videos every day about what I'm seeing and what is happening and evolving in the sport in real time, because I love this sport. This is the only sport that I watch. Even Justin, who's a professional fighter, he watches football and other things. I don't watch anything. I just love the sport. I'm a diehard. This is my sport. This is it. And I want to keep this channel growing and building because I just love this. I love it it's just so much fun. So more people in the community would be amazing. More subscribers, more growth. We love it. And I want people to hear what I have to say, because that's what makes it even more fun to do this and to engage and to learn more and all that. So once again, if you do enjoy what you see, make sure to click subscribe. We really appreciate it. Yeah, dude, 311 is stacked. I don't even know what to say, man. UFC is on fire, and I would buy TKO stock. I really would, in my opinion, just because I don't, again, not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional investor by any means, but we pick stocks based on companies and people behind those companies. And I think the UFC, from my vantage point, is just on fire and so well run and just seems to keep getting better and better. So, man, I'm just becoming a bigger and bigger fan. All right, last comment from Tehran, and then we're going to close down the show. I think Dariush and Moicano is going to be a stand-up war. Yeah. I mean, usually when we have people with heavy grappling, two like skilled grapplers, with the exception of, I think Hamzat, if he fought a grappler, he would still go for the takedown. But like generally, with the exception of Hamzat, you have two big grapplers and they somewhat cancel out and they just end up having a striking battle. Case in point, Colby versus Kamaru. That was both those fights were really fun striking battles. So anyways, I can see that point. I think that is likely going to happen. But that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. We are so excited for UFC 310 tomorrow. Let's go, everybody. Let's see what happens. Make sure to click that like button if you haven't done so yet. And last but not least, make sure to click subscribe. Where can one? Oh, UFC stock. It's the stock symbol is TKO. That's the company. I think it owns. It's the owner of both UFC and whatever the WWE thing, if you're into wrestling. But that's one of the companies. You can also buy stock directly in Endeavor Group, which I did when it went public back in 2022, I believe. But I'm not sure how it works now. I'm not sure. I believe Endeavor, the UFC is part of that, but then TKO is specifically limited to like the combat sports under Endeavor. Anyways, but lately when I've been re-upping, I've been purchasing specifically TKO, not under the Endeavor Group. So yeah, anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. And yeah, we'll see you on Monday. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to make a video tomorrow for sure, but let's see what happens on Monday. Me and Justin will be back and we'll give you our takes then. Thank you, Western Mass Climber, and thank you, everybody, and thank you, fam. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.